All right, so let's bring in constitutional attorney Jonathan Turley, George Washington University law professor and Fox News contributor. Jonathan, great to have you with us this afternoon. I saw you earlier today, right out of the gate, as this news was breaking. So now that you've had a little time to digest it and to dig in, what are your thoughts on how our viewers should perceive what has happened today?
Well, it hasn't improved with time. I mean, the problem with this appointment is manifest. You know, Garland had the opportunity to do two things to regain the trust of the public. He could have appointed someone else as special counsel, and he could have expanded the mandate. He could have said, look, there are a lot of concerns about influence peddling, crimes associated with the Biden family. We're going to have all of those investigated independently, and the facts will take it where it needs to lead. He didn't do that. Instead, he kept on referring to the mandate of investigating Hunter Biden, and he appointed the individual who's been criticized for weeks, accused by whistleblowers of being the head of what they suggest was a fixed investigation. Now, that's obviously not going to help the public trust any.
So, you know, you look at this investigation that Oversight has been doing, and I think the point has been rightly made that if Republicans weren't in charge of this particular committee, you would never have seen a lot of this information. It wouldn't have likely come to light under a Democrat-led oversight committee in this political environment. But so the tool that the oversight committee has is that they can dig in, they can bring in witnesses, they can get testimony, but then it has to go to the Justice Department. They have to then pass the ball to them because Congress can't prosecute anyone. All they can do is put it out into the public sphere and give the DOJ what they see as a solid reason to move forward. So did Garland essentially say to them today, you're not getting anywhere?
Well, the most immediate impact of this appointment will be to insulate the department itself. Weiss was supposed to testify in Congress. That's highly unlikely. If he does, right, it's unlikely he's going to give any real information. But there is another road here. You know, by not expanding the mandate, Garland may have fueled calls for the impeachment inquiry. You know, impeachment is sort of constitutional kryptonite. You know, no court that I know of would say that Congress does not have a duty to investigate allegations of corruption by President Biden and his family. This does not appear to be within the mandate laid out by the Attorney General. And I want to note something else. Why wouldn't you answer that question? Why wouldn't you just gave great specificity as to the mandate with regard to Hunter Biden. Why wouldn't the Justice Department answer clearly whether the president is within that mandate? And it speaks quite loudly to the rank and file. It suggests that we're not on board with investigating the president. And you have to keep in mind that this was the Attorney General that said that Weiss had sweeping authority to investigate just Hunter Biden, and yet this investigation was accused of being fixed and obstructed.
Yeah, it strikes me as the justification for not looking more closely at whether or not the president was receiving money from these deals always seems to go back to, well, he said he wasn't. You know, I mean, the reliance is on the president saying, I didn't have anything to do with that. So that's supposed to be enough, and everyone's just supposed to move along. I want to ask you, though, about this FARA issue, because I think this was one of the reasons after the plea deal fell apart, the judge said, yes, you know, I would look into FARA violations of registering as a foreign agent, which it doesn't appear Hunter Biden ever did while he worked with all these countries all around the world. Does that indicate that this is still open, that part of the investigation is ongoing? And what confidence do you have that it is?
Well, I would expect that this would be one of the issues the department's looking at. When Hunter Biden's lawyer turned to the prosecutor in court and said, well, just rip it up, most prosecutors would say, well, welcome to FARA land. I mean, that's the first place we're going to go. I don't understand how he could not be charged already as a foreign agent. Yeah. The problem is that they can max out the charges on this very narrow ground with Hunter Biden. But the question is whether they're going to continue to studiously avoid inquiries related to the president. We now have $20 million going through 24 shell companies and accounts to Biden family members. Now, many of the media may want to engage in willful blindness, but that is a lot of corruption that's been alleged that has been linked to the president's family. And to say that he doesn't get a benefit from this money going to essentially the Biden family fund is ridiculous. And I think the public sees it that way. Now that Garland hasn't expanded that mandate, there may be a green light to Congress to move forward with this inquiry.
Well, very interesting. With regard to one last quick question for you with the timeline and the statute of limitations, because if we're supposed to believe that Weiss is, starting this new ability as special counsel to dig in, do you think that he will ever oversee the charges from that original plea agreement, or will they be in other jurisdictions, and will it all kind of just move off his plate because the time is running out?
Well, he will oversee it because it falls within his mandate, all the tax issues related to Hunter Biden, but he allowed crimes to expire. What was most worrisome is the whistleblower said they had a deal on the table to extend it, and he let it expire. And so the question is, what can he move on at this time? And that's part of the reason why he's viewed as damaged goods. The whole point of appointing a special counsel is to assure the public that we have someone here who is unimpeachable. That's not clear in the view of many.
Okay. Jonathan, thank you. As always, Jonathan Turley joining us this afternoon.
Thank you, Martha.
And thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.